And now, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes.
All right, welcome to the show. Thanks for spending some time with us here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. We're powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Realty, and we are going to talk about Hillsborough County stats, some of the latest MLS numbers here on the show. We also have Jason Avery Construction Design, and Avery Construction on the Consumer Quarterback Show. He does a lot of home remodels in the Tampa Bay area. We're going to talk with him. And we have Andrew Kube, US Commercial and Business Capital, 100% financing for business owners, commercial loans, SBA loans, working capital, a lot of great programs that he has. So we'll talk about that. Also wanted to get to the property tax discussion. I got a clip from DeSantis, one of the latest comments from Governor Ron DeSantis on what he's talked about as well. And as you know, my wife Lindsay and I own a top real estate team, Keller Williams Realty, always helping our sellers sell faster for more money with less headaches, maximizing the exposure and the profit on the sale of your real estate listings by featuring our listings live on air, broadcasting daily up and down the Gulf Coast here to thousands of people every single day. And we just surpassed 1 million views now on YouTube, on our YouTube channels. So greatly appreciate everybody that likes, shares, and subscribes to our YouTube channels. And you can find us, of course, on TikTok and all the other IGs, all the different social medias. Hot listing here, Weeki Wachee Marina, Shoreline Boulevard, $3.5 million listing up in Weeki Wachee, home of the mermaids up there is what I hear. You got the Weeki Wachee River, which is a multi-use property. It spans 3 waterfront parcels, multiple income streams, john boat, kayak, paddleboard rentals. You've got a rental space there for Airbnb, short-term rental, retail building that's offering fishing and boating supplies, an on-site authorized Suzuki servicer as well, where you're doing the motor repair business as well. So multiple income streams, ice machine, one of the large commercial ice machines as well. 7154 Shoreline Boulevard, Weeki Wachee, Florida. Commercial property from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty, always helping you win. Buying, selling, investing, refinancing. Of course, we would love to talk to you. 12948 Twin Bridges Drive in Riverview. Beautiful single-family home. This is a 2-story split floor plan, wide open floor plan as well. Lighter color kitchen cabinetry, huge island in the kitchen there. 12948 Twin Bridges Drive. This one's 443, 3235 square feet, quarter-acre lot, just under a quarter-acre lot. And a great opportunity to buy real estate in Triple Creek, which is a community that has many amenities. You got 3 pools there, 3 community pools, splash pad, 2 clubhouses, 2 fitness centers, playgrounds, tennis and basketball courts, dog park, walking trails, all with low HOA fees and no flood insurance required. 12948 Twin Bridges Drive, another one of our 45-plus real estate listings from the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. And you can see all of our listings online and search the MLS at Platinum MVP Team. KW.com, and you can see all of our radio, TV show expert contributors and watch previous shows. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at ConsumerQB.com. That's right. Shout out. We got Maduro, too, just recently, raising our glass to those guys and gals, all in that. So, yeah, big news over the holiday break there and a lot of good things. I'm very optimistic and positive about 2026. Jason Avery, what say you, man?
Brother, I'm full of optimism. And I am growing impatient. I need it. I need it now. What I'm seeing in the remodeling world is just, again, it's been a slowdown in the housing market. We had a big boom of stuff to do post-hurricanes, but that has pretty much wrapped itself up. There's plenty of homes that still need renovation out there. Renovation's done. Let's say they need to be torn down. They need a new house built or elevated. I'm not a fan. But the reality is that we still need the interest rates to drop just a little more.
Yes.
We still need the insurance discounts to start kicking in. They've changed some legislation. It should be moving the needle in the right direction. Now that everybody's going to start getting these tax deductions, and those people aren't necessarily my clients, but when they have more money to spend, they spend it. And they spend it with the business owners who tend to be my clients. So, I can see it's right there. It's right on the horizon, this golden age that we've heard about. And I am so looking forward to it. All the key indicators there. But at the current moment, you've been a big part of helping me build my company to be pretty massive in size. I got 45 people out there doing remodeling, and I need more work to keep all these mouths fed. I unfortunately a couple months ago had to bite the bullet and make some cutbacks just to protect the mothership and the entirety of the company. But the architects that typically I have to wait on to get plans are starting to call me and say, hey, you got any more projects?
Yeah.
The dumpster service that I use, that he's letting me know, boy, he's got a lot of dumpsters sitting on his property right now. They're not out on sites.
Yeah.
And so it's not just me or my business, but anybody in the construction and trades in this area right now.
Sure.
We could use a boost. So with that said, to the consumer listening, if you're thinking of a project, this is the time to dive in because, these guys are hungry. These guys are available. Good. They'll start it sooner. They'll be able to do it more efficiently because they won't be as widespread. They're probably going to be a little more competitive on the pricing right now because everybody's hungry and everybody wants to, keep the wheels turning.
Right.
But I'm telling you, I think the year is going to be a bang-up year when it's all said and done. Again, other key indicators. We've always visited all the major home shows. In the old days, I used to, produce 35 to 40 estimates to do, after a show. We just came out of one after the holiday weekend, and we had about 8 estimates to do. So, it's just there's not the marketplace for it right now. The pay-per-click searches on the internet aren't exactly turning up lots of stuff either. So it's just, tighten up, trim the fat, and become more efficient. We're absolutely running at peak efficiency right now. Everything's, great, but there's just not enough of it. And
I hear you.
So, those who are thinking about doing projects, this is the time to call your local tradesmen and get them started, and you will get a much better deal, and it will be probably paid a lot more attention to and, completed a lot faster.
Yeah, reach out to the show, support the local economy, 813-917-1894. Give us a call. We'll put you in touch with Jason Avery. He's the owner, longtime friend of the show, over a decade now. 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com. You can see links there to all of our expert contributors. And, great time to get into the real estate space, buying, selling, investing. We can negotiate a heck of a deal. So I've got the latest stats here from the real estate board. So we'll kind of piggyback the market update from Jason and from a remodeling and construction point of view to what the actual stats were. So if you look at new listings, this is for December 2025. These are the latest stats that just came out. New listings down 18.5% month over month. Year over year, they're down 10%. Active listings down 7% year over year. That is actually up 11.3%. Pending properties under contract month over month, 23%. Year over year, down 2.6%. Pending, closed. Okay, closed transactions. There were 1,200 closed transactions in December 2025. This is for Hillsborough County. Up 20% from November, but year over year, they're down almost 3%. Months supply of inventory hovering right around 3 to 4 months supply. Median sales price here in Hillsborough County, $430,000. That is a pretty stable number, about 1.2% year over year. How many of those sold above list price? Negative 3.4%. So no, they're not selling above list price. Kind of interesting stats. Here's another interesting one. Percentage of closed transactions with seller concessions, meaning the seller's going to say, hey, I'll pay for closing costs. I'll give you some money towards your repairs or closing costs. December 2025, 56% of the homes that closed had seller concessions. That's up 1% month over month. Year over year, it's up 2.6%. So as you can see, Jason, the market is it's improving year over year. Month over month, it's kind of a short-term indicator, but year over year, I think the market's getting a little bit better, but we do need those interest rates. And I hear that the Federal Reserve, they're going to be changing out the too slow Jerome for a new guy that's going to be hawkish.
Absolutely. I don't think we're getting back to 3%. My primary mortgage in my house is 3.375. But that was a crisis situation that put us into those low rates.
Sure.
And so we're not rooting for that necessarily. But guys, can they get us into the 4s?
Yes.
That would be fantastic, and I think they would stimulate a ton of activity. And maybe it's unorthodox for this particular show, but I'm going to say, go Mondami, go Mondami, go. All the stupid changes that he makes up there are going to hopefully drive another wave of rich New Yorkers down this way. And
since you brought that up, I've got some of the quotes from his head of housing. This is the head of housing for Mondami. Mandani. What's her name? Sia Weaver. In March of 2021, she says, I think the reality is for centuries we've really treated property as individualized good and not a collective good, and we are going to. So that's really crazy.
I don't even understand exactly what that means, but
crazy.
It sounds terrible.
It sounds ridiculous. May of 2020, the police are people the state sanctions to murder with immunity. That's what she said. August of 2019, private property, including any kind of, especially homeownership, is a weapon of white supremacy masquerading as wealth-building public policy. She said that in August of 2019. In November of 2018, impoverished the white male middle class. Homeownership is racist, failed public policy. I just don't understand. How is it? And then in July of 2018, there is no such thing as a good gentrifier. Only people who are actively working on projects to dismantle white supremacy and capitalism, and people who aren't. Unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter what color we are. Money's green, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you either have it or you don't, and the people who don't seem to think the people that have it should just give it away. You know, the entitlement, and I don't understand. I don't understand that. Since I was 10 years old, or maybe even younger, I had an allowance and I had chores to do. That's the way my parents raised me. And you know what? And if I wasn't satisfied with my $10 a week, then I was allowed to use the lawnmower and go mow the neighbor's lawn and charge them.
Yep.
And then I realized real quick, I don't like to sweat. So you know what? I sold the neighbor's lawn for $20, and then I got my buddy Josh to come do it for $15.
Yeah.
While he's mowing the lawn and sweating, I'm knocking on doors and creating more opportunity.
I love it.
And then I had the second job on the weekends, tinting the windows, and then it was hospitality. And heck, I've been a commercial fisherman. I've done so many things in my youth, but I worked 2-3 jobs at a time, you know, while also doing some, you know, junior college. And the more time I worked, the less time I was spending my money. But, you know, when I met that cute girl, I could afford to take her out and treat her right. You know, that's the mentality from a child that I had.
Yeah.
And I've tried to instill into my own children. You know, I didn't buy them their first cars, but I told them whatever they saved, I'd match it.
There you go.
You know, I didn't tell them I would pay for their college tuition outright, but every time they brought me a report card with A's and B's on it, then I would go ahead and reimburse half of it. You know, I always tried to create the opportunity for them to earn their way into it. You got to have some equity into it.
I got money for basketball too, like however many points I had, or if I had a couple steals during that game.
I was in elementary school, and I can't sit still. I talk too much. It's, you know, people who know me know that's true. And but I got in trouble for talking too much in class.
Yeah.
So my parents made me a deal. For every day that I came back with a good gold star, I was behaving, I got $1 for that.
Yeah.
Anytime I came back with a frowny face, I owed them $5.
Oh boy.
You know, so
it's incentivization.
both sides.
You got to incentivize.
Yeah.
What do you think about these Trump accounts on that topic? I mean, I love these Trump accounts. Here, let me play this clip from Senator Ted Cruz, kind of outlining from his perspective, because it's such a pro move for America and for capitalism.
Starting on July 4th, every child in America will have a personal investment account opened for them. Newborn children will have it seeded with $1,000. Parents and family and employers can contribute up to $5,000 a year in a tax-advantaged account. That money will be invested in the S&P 500 in the stock market, broad-based equity index account. Two massive benefits that change this country. Number one, every child in America will experience the benefits of compound growth.
Yeah, I think that's a key too, right? I mean, just think if all that dollars we made when we were youth. You know, I went out and bought baseball cards, basketball cards. Mm-hmm. You know, I used to collect them.
I had money, and none of my friends did. So I'd go over to their house, and it's funny. They'd be all like, "Hey, you want to buy this? I'll give it to you for $2. This is for $1." And I'd walk out of there with like a box full of stuff. You know, nothing that I needed, but I had the money, and it was like fun. Yeah. You know, because I could afford it.
And to this day, it's like sitting in my attic. I'm like, what did I ever do with those basketball cards? And then here's point number 2 from Ted Cruz.
Take a little girl born next year. She's born next year. She has the account opened for her. $1,000 is automatically seeded. Her parents or family or an employer puts $5,000 a year each year into that account. If you assume the historic rate of growth of the S&P 500, which is 7% a year, by the time that little girl is 18, she will have $170,000 in that account.
Pretty cool, right?
Very cool.
I love that.
You know, when I was in my 20s, I spent 8 years working with corporate America type of environment, and I only had some junior college training, but the owner of that company was an MBA, and every day he beat financials in my head. He'd come into the sales department, how many leads are on the board? What's the close ratio? How many sales does that produce? What's the average sale? How much revenue does that bring? Take away our percentage for cost of goods, take away our percentage for overhead. What's the net? Now, what do you get to keep out of the net on the profit sharing program we have? And when I answer all the questions right, he'd say, now what if we had this many leads? What would you get to keep? And he would show me how my actions could impact the bottom line and how I get rewarded in that process. And so I just that's what these accounts are to me. It's teaching. I mean, a telemarketer in the company knew how profit was made. I pretty much got my MBA on the job for free. Now I coach other businesses on this. So it's really, I love the educational piece of it, teaching them how savings works, teaching them, how to put money away. And I hope that it ends up rolling over into the reform of our healthcare system where, again, instead of giving money to insurance companies, let's start people with a savings program of their own where – I mean, that's how I run my own health insurance. Plans, I have the extreme coverage. I have an extremely high deductible, like $5,000, but I can pay for my office visits as we go. It's like 1 or 2 a year for my wife, and it might be 1 every 5 or 6 years for me, But I think that's, a very smart strategy.
That's good stuff. All right, quick break, right back. More with Jason Avery, Avery Construction Design Consulting, averyconstruction.com, all your home renovations and commercial as well. We'll talk more about some of the other offerings as well. Also coming up later, Andrew Kube, US Commercial and Business Capital, 100% financing for business owners through the SBA. Some really cool programs that he has as well. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
Hey, this is Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins. You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my good friend Brandon Rimes. Stay tuned.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Did you know that we buy houses cash? We can close quickly for a all-cash offer on your real estate properties, residential, commercial, even vacant land. We'll buy your property cash. No cleanings, no showings, and no hassles. You can even possibly stay in your home post-closing. Call Brandon at 813-917-1894. Submit the email at consumerqb.com or call 813-917-1894, consumerqb.com. We buy houses cash and fast.
Attention business owners, did you know we have 100% financing options available? Our no money down program offers 100% financing for business owners. If you are currently leasing your commercial space, you can purchase real estate for no money down. Additionally, the program offers money for working capital, equipment, and business fixtures. You can even pay off current business debt. Reach out at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. And that is our 100% financing, no money down program for business owners. We would love to help you buying, selling, or investing in real estate. 813-917-1894. BRimes at kw.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, the official Pinellas County restaurant partner of the Consumer Quarterback Show. Say hello to Doug Clark, chef and owner Doug Clark, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Ours Creole Smokehouse, 310 East Tarpon Avenue, Tarpon Springs, ourscreole.com. Excellent food, wonderful ambiance. Say hello to our friend Doug Clark. If you're facing an insurance claim, don't just trust the insurance company to have your best interests at heart. This is Brandon Rimes, Consumer Quarterback Show. Reach out to rightwaypa.com. Our friend Derek Coble at rightwaypa.com.
Dennis Prager here for Brandon and Lindsay Rimes, owners of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams. Buying, selling, investing in real estate, their nationwide Keller Williams network makes them the best team to work with. Sellers, have your property featured live on air, creating multiple offers. Buyers, leverage a unique system that gets your offer accepted, never overlooked. Call or text 813-750-0550, 813-750-0550, or consumerqb.com.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Consumer Quarterback Show, Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty. We got a vacant land listing here at 3314 Fernleaf Drive. This one's up in Hernando Beach. Build your dream home. This is a waterfront lot, corner lot, access to the Gulf of America. 3314 Fernleaf, just under quarter-acre lot. It's an R2 zoning. No HOA or CDD fees or deed restrictions. Great opportunity to buy real estate right here in beautiful Tampa Bay. 3308 Landing Place, Palm Harbor. Another one of our beautiful listings. This one is an executive-style home. You have access to Lake Tarpon. 3 bedrooms, 3.5 bath, 2-car garage, 3,031 square feet, over a third of an acre lot. Private marina, boat slips onto Lake Tarpon. Gated tennis and basketball courts, waterfront park, playground, and scenic walking trails. 3308 Landing Place, Palm Harbor, Florida. Buy, sell, invest, refinance. Reach out to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Home remodeling. Reach out to the show. We'd love to work with you and support the local economy. You can see all of our listings at platinummvpteam.kw.com. And you can see our radio, TV show expert contributors. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at consumerqb.com. This is God's country. All right, Jason Avery, coming back into the final push here, man. Final thoughts. What are you thinking over there?
I'm just thinking that, while it's been challenging for me to navigate the marketplace that we're in, many contractors are in the same boat, and some of them may not have been through this before. I have. So at the other outfit, at Constructing Success, based on my book title, which is on Amazon and Kindle, Constructing Success, Blueprints for Referral-Based Business, I am available to help coach and mentor some of these younger GCs.
There you go.
I often dive into topics like how to price the job accurately from the beginning, how to not leave things out, how to disclaim properly what is or is not included. And at Avery Construction, we have a spreadsheet that's 1,000 rows long of possibilities. And but it keeps everybody on track and keeps it consistent, whether I got salesman A, B, or C doing it. But I teach that to GCs. I teach them cash flow projection, and that is the thing that really matters right now, because some of the younger guys aren't tracking numbers, and they get some money in the bank, and best way to put it is they're cash flow rich, but they're profit poor, and they don't know it until it's too late.
Overconfident.
And they're running smack into a brick wall. And based on the tracking and the numbers, I mean, I can see from a long ways out, okay, if I never sold another job, here's how long I can survive this and how much overhead allowance, and I got to start trimming that back so that I don't end up upside down. Obviously we're not going to stop selling things, but it's just making sure that you size right into it. I knew it was coming, and I still delayed, holding on for too long, thinking that, man, if that next wave of business comes, I want the bigger, better, badder team to capture more of it, get us to the next level. And, I held on for too long, admittingly, and finally had to make the,
Realtors.
Adult decisions to, make tough decisions.
Realtors do that too, man. They'll close a big deal. They'll stop originating files. For me, I do a lot of expired, canceled leads. They'll start, stop that origination side and that pushing for new business and, take a vacation only to come back and be like, man, what happened?
It's the very fine line between understanding the math, and you can or you can't. It's that simple, but people's lives are affected. You're laying somebody off. It's not just that person, but then their family, their kids, and so that's the heartstring portion of it. So hence, again, hire your local tradesmen and do it now. Keep them alive. Keep them from laying people off. You will be helping families in our community. And
you get a good deal right now.
Yeah, you'll get a good deal. It'll get done fast and efficient. That's the way it is. So and trust me, that next tidal wave's coming. And if you wait until then, you're going to be stuck behind a long line of people.
That's right. Jason Avery, Constructing Success is the book. averyconstruction.com is the website. Longtime friend of the show. Work with the local economy, work with a local expert, and I can highly recommend Jason Avery, Avery Construction Design Consulting. Thanks for coming in, buddy.
Thanks for having me, Brandon.
My pleasure. Coming up, Andrew Kube, U.S. Commercial and Business Capital, uscbcapital.com. We're going to talk with him about 100% financing, SBA loans, and some great opportunities out there in the marketplace, in the commercial space. Maybe a good time to do a refinance. You never know. You can look at the numbers and kind of weigh that out. Quick break, right back.
Hey, this is Grant Cardone, and you're listening to Consumer Quarterback Show, hosted by my friend Brandon Rimes. Do not not touch that dial. I'll come right through the radio and grab your throat.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rimes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. Consumer Quarterback Show powered by the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. Andrew Kube joining us here, 100% financing, US commercial and business capital. He is an expert in the commercial space, in that business loan space, and he does a great job for all of our clientele out there. Andrew Kube, welcome back to the Consumer Quarterback Show.
Hey, Brandon, thanks for having me again.
Yes, absolutely. My pleasure. And, I wanted to give you the mic and just give us a little update on what you're seeing out there in the commercial business loan space.
Well, I would say the biggest thing that I've seen in Florida over the last couple weeks, and I've been reaching out to as many past clients or commercial realtors, any commercial real estate investors out there. We have a lender that we found that we're working with that just handles Florida. That's all they do is focus on Florida, and they're offering a deal that nobody seems to be able to come close to. So what it is, Brandon, on all commercial property from, $300,000 or $400,000 on up, when I say on up, there is no limited loan amount, which I found it hard. I was very excited to hear that. Sometimes they'll have, they'll put limits when they do these special pricing promotions. But I have a lender in Florida for all Florida commercial properties, that, and it's over. If it's an apartment, they want you to have at least 8 units or more. But they're offering an interest rate of 5.5% right now.
Wow, that's below
and
market.
So
right?
What that means to me, most banks are right now offering 6.5%. On average for any type of commercial investment lending. So if you're out there and you had a deal last year that you looked at and your seller didn't, you had to make a certain offer because once you went to your bank and looked at the numbers, the deal didn't cash flow at the price the seller was offering it for. Well, now it might at 5.5%. The difference between 5.5% and 6.5% on a couple $1 million is hundreds of thousands of dollars over the life of that loan, which is now going to help that deal that might not have cash flow that you looked at last year. Or if you have listings and you're a commercial listing agent, you might had buyers, agents that brought clients and they made offers and lowballed offers, and maybe it was because they went to their bank and their bank said, "Hey, your rate's going to be 7%," and that's where they needed the sales price to be for that deal to make any sense on paper to them. Well, a lot of that's changed now. So I would say it's a great time to get into any type of commercial investing. If you're a residential investor and you want to get into commercial investing, now's the time to do that. Also, if you're a business owner out there and you're looking to grow your business, the government has set aside through the SBA $5 million for you. And so what we help clients get money, whether they're leasing a property and need to do a build out, need inventory equipment, they need to consolidate high interest rate business debt that they might have. We can do that through an SBA loan. Or if they're looking to buy a property, looking to rehab that property, looking to build something, but also need money to help that business grow, whether it's a startup or an existing business. That's what we do, is we help you guys, all our listeners, find the cheapest money for their projects. And that way they can do maybe 2 projects instead of 1, or 4 instead of 8. So, we take pride in helping people.
I love the real life success stories as well, Andrew. We're talking with Andrew Kube, U.S. Commercial and Business Capital, uscbcapital.com. He's online at uscbcapital.com. Andrew, can you give us a recent success story? I think he's having cell phone problems there.
No, I'm here. I'm here.
There you go.
A recent success story. I mean, on the business side, I would say a recent success story is we helped a client. He wanted to start his own business. He worked at he'd been working in the automotive repair business for 10 or 15 years, and he reached a certain age and had a new child on the way, and he wanted to go in business for himself. And he reached out to, tons of, I'd say a handful of banks, and they went into him, and he was trying to get an SBA loan and said, sorry, we can't help you out. You haven't been in business for 2 years. You don't have 2 years of financials to prove that you can run a successful business. So what we've been able to do, are you still there, Brandon?
Yeah, we're here.
Okay. What we've been able to do is we were able to help this business owner start a new business, grow, and eventually come back and grow his business to open up a second location. So that's a new success story that we've had for a business owner. And then, already we've helped a couple commercial investors get 5.5% on this deal that ends at the end of February.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm not sure if they're going to extend the deal, but, they're going to do this pricing at least to the end of February, which, is pretty huge. So, yeah, I would say those are the two things that, that I have been going on right now that people can relate to and might want to give me a call.
Yeah, I love that. Reach out to the show, 813-917-1894. We're going to put you in touch with Andrew Kube, U.S. Commercial Business Capital, U.S. Commercial and Business Capital, 813-917-1894. And he has 100% financing through the SBA. The government set aside up to $5 million for every small business. And I really think that's part of the American dream, the ability to own your own business and to be able to access capital. And he's got a special deal going on through one of his lenders right now through the end of February. 5.5% is what they're talking about. And, it's not tied to a certain loan amount or credit score yet. So, there's no we have to, of course, qualify you for that. But, Andrew, final thoughts. I know you got a hard out here coming up at right at the time here.
Yeah, I would just say that if you're a real estate investor or if you're a business owner, give me a call. Reach out to Brandon and the show. If you have a property out there that you want to list, or if you're looking to buy a property, Brandon's an unbelievable resource for you. Please give him a call. Have him reach out to me. Let's see what you qualify for. Let's see what your options are. And let's see how we can help you out in 2026 to help grow your portfolio, to help grow your business, and do better for your families.
That's right. Yep. It's going to be a great year, going to be a breakout year. Reach out, and we'll put you in touch with Andrew Kube. Andrew, thanks so much. Appreciate the call in.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, the American dream, and I hear that the Federal Reserve is going to be much more hawkish on reducing those the overnight lending rates, aka that federal funds rate. They're going to be much more hawkish on that, and potentially, I heard in excess of a half a point, maybe even close to a full point. So if that were to happen, you're going to see a windfall of refinances, purchases, a lot of business, and that affects all types of loans: auto loans, consumer debt loans. Commercial loans. So it's not just, what you might think is, and it's not directly tied to the mortgage industry. It's more related to the long-term bond, but that will definitely have that cumulative effect of improving interest rates. So I'm looking forward to that. I think there's a lot of opportunity there. And Andrew Kube, best in the business, U.S. Commercial and Business Capital. Definitely want to talk to him. 100% financing on your business loans, SBA loans. And I want to remind you also, we buy houses cash. We have programs and investors that if you have someone out there and there's a situation where they have to sell fast, they need a property sold quickly, and a lot of times it's an issue. Something happened. There's a divorce, a death in the family, a tax sale, some type of a lien that's been levied, and they just can't figure it out. HOAs can get really aggressive and try to foreclose. But if you have a situation like that, I want to remind you, we buy houses cash, and we can buy quickly. We can arrange where you can still stay there for an extra month or two while you get things settled down. Our buy box, we want to buy single family homes. We're not buying condos. There's too much of a bubble there with condos and townhomes. But if it's a single family home, we prefer to have newer, 10 years or newer, sometimes a little bit older if it makes sense. You got to look at the lot size, you got to look at some of the different parameters of the property. But we will buy cash, and we're not going to play games with you. We're going to give you our best offer, and that's going to be, what you can take to the bank. It's going to be based on our reputation. We want to buy properties that are mostly 3-bedroom, 2-bath. That's a lot of times if it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, there's just not much of a secondary market for it, especially, as the market's a little bit tighter right now, a little bit more of a balanced market. Some people call it a a buyer's market. I don't, it's a little bit on the edge of a buyer's market, seller's market, but it's somewhat balanced, And if you look at Pinellas County, I've got the latest stats here from the real estate board, the realtor stats for Pinellas County. Let's look at some of the latest data for Pinellas County. I like to keep our audience updated on what's happening here. This is the latest stats from December. And this is for detached residences, so single-family detached residences. If you look at let's look at year over year, because I think that tells a little bit better story than it does month over month. So Pinellas County new listings, you had 703 new listings in 2025 December. That's down 26% year over year, so less listings hitting the market. Active listings up almost 10%. Pending is down 15%, so less properties are going under contract. Pending ratio down 4.4%. Closed transactions actually up 0.7%. Supply 6.7% month supply. So that's over the 6-month threshold for the first time in a while. Median sales price in Pinellas County $450,000. That's down 6.2% year over year. The median days on market 66 days on market. That's up 57% year over year. So more days on market. Generally speaking, days on market are enemy to the home's value. So I think that's kind of a common, people understand that the more time that your property's on the market, that's why you got to be really cautious. We've lost some listings when I go in and I talk about the values, because I'm not going to fluff you up. I'm not going to tell you your property's worth more money than it is. I'm going to be realistic with you. And I've lost some listings, and it's frustrating to lose those listings because the homeowner says, oh, well, this other realtor says, Susie, who sold like 3 properties last year, said that I can sell it for more money, or she can sell it for more money. Well, good luck with that, because what's going to happen, you're going to end up as an expired listing after 6 months on the market, 3 months on the market, and then we're going to come back in and we're going to say, look, I told you this is what you needed to list it at. Now, what I could have got you is actually less because your days on the market is down. So days on market. Sold above list price. How many sold above list price? Negative 3.7. So that's down 3.7. There's 14.9%. actually sold above list price. This tells the story also. Seller concessions, 36% of the closed transactions in December 2025 were sold with seller concessions, meaning money's towards your down payment, money's towards your closing costs. That's actually up 7.7%. And the median concession amount was $9,000. So it's still a good time to get in the real estate space, buying, selling, investing, refinancing. Reach out to the show, 813-917-1894. We'd love to run a comparable market analysis for you, let you know what your property's worth, residential, vacant land, commercial properties. We promise to be forthright and honest with you. We're your local real estate economist of choice right here in Tampa Bay. Brandon Rimes, Consumer Quarterback Show, and owner of the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. My wife Lindsay and I own a top real estate team here in Tampa Bay, and we can help you sell faster for more money with less headaches. We broadcast our listings up and down the entire Gulf Coast of Florida. We have our daily talk show here, 4 o'clock drive time on 860 The Answer. Weekend show, FM 102.5 The Bone. And, of course, we syndicate all of our content on YouTube. We just reached 1 million views on YouTube, so real proud of that. Please like, share, and subscribe on our YouTube. We've got our TikTok, IG, of course, all the different channels. Hey, quick shout out to Lee's Royal Services, longtime friend of the show. Lee's Royal Services, home and office cleaning, handyman service, leesroyalservices.com, leesroyalservices.com on the interior of the property. On the exterior, reach out to our friend Ramin. He's over at Heights Soft Wash. He's the owner of Heights Soft Wash, taking clean to new heights, heightssoftwash.com. You can find him online at heightssoftwash.com. Hey, quick break, right back. More on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Got a couple clips I want to play for you and keep you updated on things happening in Tampa Bay and throughout this great state of Florida. Consumer Quarterback Show, consumerqb.com.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rimes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com.
Long
long lines at the airport? Check out Tampa Bay's premier private jet source. I'm Brandon Rimes for Will Smith Aviation, aircraft management, acquisition and sales, luxury jet escapes and packages. Check them out online, willsmithaviation.com. That's willsmithaviation.com, or call the show. I'll put you right in touch directly with Captain Will Smith. AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com for all of your non-woke American-made products. American values, Christian, conservative American values. Say hello to my business partner, Jim McCune at AmericaFirstPatriotStore.com. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Say hello to Shane Socash, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, 4009 Central Avenue, St. Petersburg, online at David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com for all of your precious metals and jewelry design. David Reynolds Jewelry and Coin.com. Hey, Brandon Rimes here for Jason Coble, owner of Coble Law. Coble Law has been handling injury cases in Tampa for the past 14 years and has a specialized approach focused on limiting client cost and maximizing client profit. TampaWorkCompLaw.com, TampaWorkCompLaw.com. Jason Coble, longtime friend of the Consumer Quarterback Show, personal injury law, and work comp law.
Hey, Brandon Rimes here for our friends at TargetSurveying.net. For all of your surveying needs, land surveying firm providing services for real estate since 1992, and they are statewide. Check them out online, TargetSurveying.net. That's TargetSurveying.net.
Selling commercial, vacant land, or residential properties? Don't leave money on the table. List with the Platinum MVP team at Keller Williams Realty. I'm Brandon Rimes. You can reach me at 813-917-1894. Call or text 813-917-1894. Online at consumerqb.com. That's consumerqb, like quarterback.com. Buying, selling, investing, or refinancing? We would love to talk to you. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.
You're listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-917-1894.
All right, welcome back. Appreciate everybody supporting the show, supporting the local economy by supporting our team at the Platinum MVP team, Keller Williams Realty, consumerqb.com. You can find all of our show partners there. We have 80 different categories of consumer advocates helping you understand your buying decisions, making you more street smart, whether you're looking to do a refinance or a real estate transaction. We have great attorneys, CPAs, financial advisors, all different types of legal experts, home service providers as well, roofing, inspections, painting, you name it, we have them, or we're just one referral away from them. So we can get you taken care of here on the Consumer Quarterback Show. Help save, commission-based advice. There's so much commission-based advice out there. I hear stories every day about it. 103 Brigadoon Drive in Clearwater. We have a motivated seller here. This property is a lovely property. It's 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 1,536 square feet, 3-story residence with no rear neighbors. You have a low HOA fee, modern kitchen with granite countertops, spacious bedrooms, and you're close to the beaches. You're just about 8 miles away from Clearwater Beach. New laminate flooring. Great opportunity to buy real estate. 103 Brigadoon Drive in beautiful Clearwater, Florida. That is Pinellas County. 12948 Wildflower Meadow Drive. Another beautiful listing, single-family home. This one's 5 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, 2,949 square feet. Triple Creek community. We've got a couple listings in there. Awesome community. You've got community pools, walking trails, all kinds of good stuff for the family there. Hurricane shutters on this home. 12948 Wildflower Meadow Drive in beautiful Riverview, Florida. That's Hillsborough County. Now, this one's owned by a former chef. You have a stylish kitchen, stainless steel appliances, sleek granite countertops, plenty of space to entertain guests, and a great access, lots of access to resort-style amenities, including pools, fitness center, playgrounds, walking trails, and more. You can see all of our listings at PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com, PlatinumMVPTeam.kw.com, and ConsumerQB.com. All right, yeah, a lot of positive momentum here in the state of Florida. I got a quick clip I want to play from DeSantis. He was recently on Fox News being interviewed. Let's roll tape here.
With me now is the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis. Governor, welcome to the program.
It's good to be here. A little colder than Florida, but that's okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. How much would you be able to cut property taxes by? And when you've made the cut, how do you pay for local services?
Well, it's a good question. But first, let's just point out, people are being pinched across the economy in a lot of things. And property taxes, even though, and it's all local in Florida. We don't get any at the state level. We've tripled our rainy day funds. We cut taxes. We have no income tax. We're doing fine at the state. But the local property taxes are hurting people. 2019 in Florida, the total amount of revenue for local government, $32 billion from property tax. You know what it is now? $56 billion. That's a massive increase. So people are paying more. So the issue is we're going to focus on Florida homesteaded residents. Now, that's a fraction of that revenue. And honestly, you would still have way more revenue than you had in 2019. We're working through exactly how that's going to work. Of course, we're going to make sure we have fire, police, and all the core things. But the reality is these local governments have overspent, and people are paying more and more for that. And at some point, it's like, when is enough enough?
Yeah, when is enough enough? Wasteful spending. Some call it waste, fraud, and abuse, and you look at that, and so the property taxes. So think about this: in 2019, pre-COVID, you had $32 billion of revenue from local, city, and county, and all of a sudden that skyrocketed over 5 years to $56 billion from local and county, city and county. That's local taxing authorities. So where is that money going? Why is it ballooned so extensively? It's almost doubled over that amount of time. So that's the big debate. And the action item, use your agency and take action. Make sure you let your state representative know. If you're over in Largo, you want to talk to Bernie. Bernie, he's a longtime friend of the show, State Representative Bernie Jacques. If you're out in Riverview area, you want to talk to our friend Danny Alvarez. Find out who your state rep is and let them know that you are for property tax relief. You're for the elimination of property taxes on primary residences. We really want this to happen. It's going to be on the ballot. And how do we structure it? And, of course, a lot of the naysayers are talking about, well, how are you going to pay for it? Well, we set records for tourism. We had something like 34 million tourists, I think, just in Q1 of last year. I haven't seen the latest stats on that. But just think about it. You got millions of people coming to Florida. We can tax that. Airbnbs, commercial properties, vacant land, you're still going to be taxing those. And there's other ways to make up for the revenue. And if you cut a lot of the waste, fraud, and abuse, that's another major thing that you can do. So take action. Make sure you let them know. And this is big news on a national level. Of course, we like to focus more local, but I'm with President Trump on this one.
And that's, Trump was mentioning it this morning in front of the House GOP guys, the SAVE Act, play cut 220.
You ought to have voter ID. You ought to insist on it. You ought to insist on it. The only reason somebody doesn't want that is because they want to cheat. And you ought to pass the SAFE Act or whatever you're going to call it.
I mean, so it's getting mentioned again, Senator.
Yeah, so that was the Kirk show where they're talking about that with Ron Johnson. But why are we at the point where in this country, we allowed all these illegals to come in? And they're doing anything they can do in California to give them driver's licenses. And we saw what happened with CDL. You got the big multiple accidents and fatalities of these people that can't even read the signs. How are they going to read the sign? How are they going to drive these multiple thousands of pounds, multiple ton vehicles, and put our citizens at risk? And then here's Stephen Miller with a follow-up to that.
Yeah, well, and I couldn't help but hear that you were echoing some of the sentiments from the great Stephen Miller. Play cut 210.
This was not a loophole. The Biden administration, Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas, devised a scheme to fly illegal aliens into the country and then to escort them en masse across the border by the millions and to give them something known as parole, which gives them a work permit, which gives them a social security number, which gives them access to the voting booth. This was the plan all along, to get them here illegally so they can get free government benefits, get hooked to welfare, and be able to participate in American elections.
And I tell you, citizens like me, my friends, people that I talk to, producers here, in the show, we're just tired of it. We're sick of hearing these stories, and we know that the scheme has been just that, to allow these illegals in. They're from countries that hate us. They don't have the same. They don't come in and assimilate. They come in and try to change our great country, and we're not for that. We're for the American way. We believe in our country. We believe in American exceptionalism, and that's another key element to keep an eye on. Is we got to pass a SAFE Act. We got to make sure that only citizens can vote in our elections. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Jason Avery Construction, Andrew Kube, U.S. Commercial and Business Capital. We want you to please go out there and consider committing a random act of kindness. Do something kind for one another. Be a force for good in the community. And we'll see you next time right here on the Consumer Quarterback Show, ConsumerQB.com.
You've been listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rimes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Call Brandon Rimes at 813-917-1894. That's 813-917-1894. Online at ConsumerQB.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show.